let's move on now to the Titans. Webber, you broke the Ezra House story. What's the latest from the Titans and the Bears?
We're just waiting on the NRL to see if they're going to investigate this. Yeah, I wrote it in the Australian on Saturday afternoon, just ahead of sneaky bomber Bedell. He's had more exclusives than me, so I'll take it.
You got him there.
Look, it's the only reason. Look, I'm not alleging any wrongdoing against Ezra Howe at all, but the fact that the Gold Coast Titans have submitted to the NRL and asked for this to be investigated to see whether there's been any misconduct at all from Ezra Howe, their recruitment manager, and to see whether he was trying to assemble a squad made up of 9 Titans players. They've asked for the NRL to see if the Bears were complicit in it, in what he was doing, and I think it's fair enough that they investigate it.
You heard it? Where are you?
Well, it's potentially a very big story when you look at the fact the Bears, Mal Meninga's the coach, the NRL hold jurisdiction over them. I'd love to know, Webby, is there more to it than someone working on their computer and compiling notes that are free to everyone? You spoke about that last night, but there's more allegations, because on the surface there, you'd think, well, who wouldn't do that?
Yeah.
But how deep does it go? I guess that's what...
The way this played out, and I wrote this in the Australian on Saturday. So when Ezra Howe left, the Titans had heard that from a player manager that he had told them to go slow on re-signing Titans players because the Bears were coming in. When that happened, that's when they did the forensic audit of Ezra Howe's laptop and his emails, and that's where they found the spreadsheets and a whole stack of documents, including a letter of offer, which is now being suggested to me and to others is actually faked. Which just adds another level of complexity and weirdness to this story. But the fact that, and there's been suggestions, or it's been claimed by the Gold Coast Titans to the NRL, that there's a recording of Ezra Howe saying to a player manager to go slow. Now, how that recording has happened will be interesting. I just think that to me, I just think that means the NRL, particularly when the NRL owned the Perth franchise for the next 5 years, they need to investigate it. Yeah. They need to get to the bottom of exactly who knew what and what's happened.
Just off the back of Crawls, because I look at it similar to what you do. You know, if I'm this is what I'm hearing. If the situation was like, everyone knew that he was going, right? He hadn't officially signed with the Bears, he hadn't been sacked by the Titans, but there was this kind of, it was known to everyone that he was probably going to land at the Bears. Now, he's at the Titans and he's not sure if he's going, or if he's going, it's kind of a big possibility, and he's looking at rosters and he's looking at a team that he's going to formulate if he does go there, and it's something that most recruiters would do, right? And you wouldn't do it on the Titans computer, which is a mistake. But to me, I don't look at it and go, "Oh, this is a disgrace. How dare he's trying to..." Like, he's got to look because you got to think of this too. The Bears are starting from scratch, right? They've got no help from the NRL in terms of financial compensation, like, you know, for a team that's got to start from the bottom. So I'm not condoning his behaviour, but you can understand in his position someone doing that. And I don't know. I think that
happens all the time. Yeah. That happens all the time. I get that, but nevertheless, you can't do it.
Yeah,
you can't be working for one club when you're going to working for one club when you're still at another.
But is he working for that club, or is he looking at who he would potentially go for if he did get?
That's what an NRL investigation.
There's two differences.
That's what an NRL investigation's got to get to the bottom of.
That's right, but
and the reason why I'm going hard on this is because the NRL so far keeps saying this is an employment issue between Ezra Howe and the Titans, and I think that's rubbish, particularly when they own the club. Because I know if it was another club and if it was, say, it was the Roosters, they would be looking under everything. Yeah. And they can't sit there and talk about integrity and not investigate themselves. And I think that's where the NRL have to be very strong on this. And so far, they haven't said a word. And I think that's wrong.